Hello, welcome back. Second installment to the bumper issue. Took the plastic off of it. Get you in here. It's pretty mangled up. As far as the sheet metal here, it's actually not that tough to straighten it out. It's fairly thin. But now the insert, I'm not going to be able to do anything with it, I don't think. If I'm doing anything, it's just going to be playing with it. It's got a pretty good ding in it. I think the underlying sheet metal, I think I can get that fixed, but I don't know at this point in time if it's even worth messing with this, or if I would just be better off to just go ahead and find another bumper someplace. The frame itself is actually not that bad. It's made up of, this thing here is actually made up of three pieces. The main frame, this being the main frame, and the bracket, and it's got the two wing pieces back here. It's got one of these on either side, and then this top part is also modular. It goes all the way across. You see that it's all one piece. It actually, you can take these rivets off, and there's two bolts here, two nuts underneath here, and that would disconnect this sheet metal from the rest of it. Well, actually, there's one more screw on either side on the bottom of it, but that would essentially disconnect the top piece of sheet metal from the rest of it. So I think I'm gonna go and take it apart, see what I can do with it. I don't know, just play with it, I guess. Take a few minutes. I don't want to take a lot of my time. These things here are little tiny carriage bolt. Or I shouldn't say a tiny, but the head's been flattened out. It's like somebody got carriage bolts and just machined the tops off of them. I'm sure they're not machined off, but you know what I'm saying. That bracket might be bent a little bit, but it is not much at all. And if I was correct, this should come apart. Yep. So really all that's left now is the two pieces of chrome that are riveted on now. You know, I'm not, it's kind of odd for them to make these little bolted on parts and then not have individual modules for sale. I'm gonna have to look that up, guys, because I've tried to Google that a little bit, and I really couldn't find nothing but the whole bumper, but it would appear to me that there's got to be parts for it. And now that I look at that, I mean, everything being modular like it is, there has got to be parts for it. So I'm going to do that search before I go further with this video. So I did a quick Google search, found that gmpartscenter.net, and they do have a VIN number option, and I encourage everybody, if you have a VIN number, to go ahead and search by VIN number. That's a lot of times more accurate. Anyway, moving on. Here we got body, and we want to do bumper components rear. And here we have the diagram that they actually do sell individual parts. I can't believe I missed that before, but anyway, got this here GM part number. Let's copy that, and then I went to Discount Body Parts. I had bought from them before, and pasted GM part number and search for it, and it would come up as a replacement bumper reinforcement. That's exactly what that is. That is exactly the part that's messed up, so I'm gonna go ahead and add that to the cart. So I'll continue with them. And 8. Let's see what's 8 here. End cap left. Okay, 8 end cap paint to match. Okay, guys, we have a paint to match. This is just a roughed steel piece. Here is the chrome one, and what's important to note, you see all the 8 over here. So this is paintable one, and this chrome one here is chrome without the reverse sensors. I don't have reverse sensors. This one here is with the reverse sensor. And of course this is the other side. This is the right side, left side, and so on. You get the picture. So I need to find the left side, which is the driver's side in chrome without the reverse sensor. Copy this. So they have that at Well for about $60. Material steel bumper end rear driver side. That is correct. That is the left side. Rear driver side. OE replacement GM. Okay. Seems to be in stock as well, so that's good. So while we're over here, I'm going to scroll down and we look at this here, and this here is the same thing. I'm going to go over this really quick. Fit and function of these parts right here. I mean, I'm good with this. This is fine for me. But fit and function of it is not necessarily real good on these parts. I don't want to say it's going to be a bad part. I'm not saying that at all, but if you scroll down, you see one here that's $160. Well, the difference is this one here is CAPA certified. And I'm not going to get into a big spiel about what CAPA certification is. If you go to this website here, you can actually read up on it. It just tells you about a certification about the quality, the performance, the fit, and all that good stuff. But like I said, you can read that yourself. You have to make that decision whether you're going to go with the cheaper parts or the less expensive, or the more expensive ones. I'm sorry. They're all in here. So here you can see for the other side, you can get a set, whatever, you know. Like I said, you have to make that decision what you're going to do. I'm going to go with the cheaper one. I think that's fine for this truck. The truck is not a new truck anymore. If that was a new shiny truck without any kind of dings, I'd probably get the better replacement parts just because, but this one here is fine for me. Okay, folks, we're back. So first we're going to try I hit that a while ago, but we're going to try to get some of this out. You know, I figured out I got a bad habit of saying, hey guys, I guess I shouldn't do that. I need to, I guess, get used to not saying that, since there's possibility that there is female audience as well. So I guess I got to quit saying that. But anyway, this crease right here, I don't know. I don't think I have to worry about it, because it's going to be hidden by the bumper. We want to address this, and I got to get that piece of sheet metal in on top. Make sure you actually be able to see this. Man, it's going to be hard to see. So I got to get this edge right here. I got to get it back in. Silly me, I tried to open the tailgate when I did that and bend my tailgate, but the tailgate's fine. Nothing wrong with it, but I got to get my corner back in. And yeah, I'm going to have to get me something to hold it. Back on the side here, I think that crease is fine. I ain't gonna worry about it. I think I mentioned that before. I mean, yeah, I hate the part where I ran into something, but it's not a new truck either, so. Okay, so now I don't have a rattle can. Most of you guys would do something like that, a touch-up can, and paint coat will be in the glove compartment on these trucks. If somebody don't know that, it's the little sticker that's got all the sequence numbers on it. The paint coat should be on the bottom. It'll have a BC and CC, which stands for base coat, clear coat. It'll have a number below it. That's your paint coat. Now, as I was saying, I don't have a rattle can. What I have is, I have some paint here that I'm fixing to mix up in a little airbrush. My little airbrush. I'm fixing to mix that up and do the touch up with it, and hopefully it'll work. So I can tell you this though, if you are using a rattle can, now you can't be doing what I'm doing here. That airbrush and bends, this is real paint. It dries almost as soon as it hits, so your rattle can will not do that. So be careful so you don't get a bunch of runs in there. So once again, we're not going to make a big deal out of it. I just roughed her up a little bit to let that dry up. Shot some paint on that. The bumper will cover everything to up here. It'll cover all this, so then there's paint on it now. It should blend in just fine. I mean, as I said, it's not a new truck. It'll be fine. It's good for me. So thankfully I had a little bit of time this evening to do this. I'm glad that part of it is done. Now all we need is a bumper. It is ordered, so I'm just going to wait for it to come in now and reassemble that thing. Realized today I was running around without a license plate, so. Hey guys, real quick, that stupid order that I placed, it didn't come in. I've been wailing around with this a little bit. If this works for right now, I'm tickled because I don't have time. Guys, I've got work lined up. I can't get it done because I'm messing with my truck here, and that ain't good. So on top of everything else, yesterday when that frame part of it came in, it was bent over. So this was supposed to have been the new frame part of it. It was laid over completely. I'm going to have to wail around on it a little bit, see if we can straighten it up. Maybe use it. I don't know. We'll see. This side, so that should be like this. That is still sprung. Okay, if you take them off, they're easy to drill out. They just grab a drill, pop the heads or drill the head. Really easy, nothing to it, not going to show it. Done anyway, so you need 10 1/4-inch rivets. I'm hoping that the 1/4-inch by half will do. This is what I could get. Don't really know what that's supposed to be. I think that is what it's supposed to be, but I don't know that for sure. So. And what we don't want to do is we don't want to put a rivet in and go ahead and rivet it down. You do not want to do that. For the simple fact that if you do that, you're going to rivet one of these things down, and later on something else is not lined up. Now you're going to have a bad rivet. Now you got to drill it back out. So we want to make sure that everything lines up before we get started with that. There is 5 on each side. There is 1, 2, 3, another one over here, 4, and then 5 on the corner. See if we can pull this down. We do want to hold that in place with something. The rivet itself is not going to pull that down. If it catches wrong, the rivet will break and it's not going to lay up flat. Got one of these here. That's the Harbor Freight Special, 1995 I think it was. Now I hear a lot of people complaining, well, it quit working. You do need to realize that using a rivet gun, when you pop the fitting out of the top, make sure that you put a little lubrication in there. I mean, works much better with lubrication, trust me. That works just fine too. See if we can get past these here pliers. Well, it did one. See if we can get some more done with it. No guarantees. It is Harbor Freight. It was cheap. I'm not going to complain. Whatever happens, I'm not going to complain. Sorry guys, battery died. Not a big deal, didn't do nothing. All I grabbed was a subframe and put these 4 bolts here, or 2 on each side I should say. Put them in, all I did. Put the bolt up here, bolt on the other side. It's all dry fit, don't tighten up anything. Didn't do none of that yet. It's going to do the braces, if I ever remember how I took them out of there. Guess this point in time I almost have to look at my video, see what I did here, huh? Okay. This was... How did that come out of there? Let's see. It wasn't like that. It was like... Okay, there is no connection point there. However, we do have connection points here. So that goes in. Yeah. I don't know if you guys can see, that's hard to do with this camera here. Nah, that's hard to do with this camera. It's such a narrow angle. But anyway, The brace, got it back in here. I'll shove a bolt in those. The bolts, I think I stated that before, they're like carriage bolts. They have a square built into them, and they can only go in one way. And I mean, technically they can go in from either way, but if you want them to hold, they can only go from one way. See right here where they punch the square out? That's the flat side of it. Kind of goes without saying, but mention it anyway. So that being said, as you can see, I did not use a wrench to hold that. That's because of that square on the carriage sits right into the square that's stamped out. So now, well, I'm not going to go ahead and say that right now. But it appears that the metal, the stamping here, is actually not that bad at all. It actually seems to work out pretty well. But like I said, I'm not going to put the buggy before the horse now. We're not done yet, so. If I didn't lose some bolts here somewhere. That always seems to be the problem when you put stuff off for another day. I always end up not finding my bolts. Anyway, right now I have me some bolts missing. I don't know what I did with them. Not to worry, I put them somewhere. I know I did. Laid them down somewhere. Forgot where I put them. Okay, I didn't want to film the whole thing. I was fighting this. Not gonna lie, I was fighting this all the way. A lot of the previous owner, I didn't buy the truck new. The previous owner had wrecked it before, and it's got a big old gash up here in the plastic. Well, not really a big old gash, but it's got a gash in the plastic anyway. It was twisted from the get-go, and tabs are broken loose. I knew about that. I clipped the back of the plastic back in. Let me finish this up. I find there is a strap. Where is it at? They normally hang on by a little thread anyway. They're supposed to go across here, and then you clip your plastic. You clip it in one of them body clips. The easy way to fix that, I have done in the past, seems to work okay. Get this old solder iron heated up. So what I did here is I created a little slot with the solder iron, and I've done this several times in the past. Get you around here, get you a shot of this. So just make you a little slot there. We'll clean that up a little bit, but I'll take us a zip tie. Run that zip tie through it. Come over here, go through that bolt hole. Okay. So that was the damaged part of it. Got a little bit of ding in it, I know. Poo on it, it's good enough. This is the part that I've told you earlier that has been run into, not by me, that was a previous owner did that, and they also ran into the center here, that these little dings right here, they're not from me, I didn't do that originally, but here you have a shot of the whole bumper. And focus. You know, yeah, I hate the ding in it. Plastic a little bit dirty. Actually, that's going to look not so bad once it's cleaned up. I'm not going to do the reverse install. You just go reverse on what I did when I took it off. I'm going to end the video right here. Hopefully you guys get a little bit something out of it. Thanks for watching. So heck, I just realized, hadn't done the before and after. Got to do the after. So lining back up, like I said, the damage there, I mean, you really have to look. Here's where I painted the blue on it. I still got to buff it a little bit. I'm not going to do it now, like I say, I got time. But this is the side that's not hurt. Looks the same.